One misconception when you purchase a piece of automated equipment is that you power it up and it just magically puts out parts forever. And this is something that a lot of people come into my class end up running into probably the wrong way is you do buy a new machine and it works perfectly for 2 to 3 years. And then you call me and you're like, hey, we're starting to have a lot of issues with our equipment and we need training. Now, I love that you need training, but if we do some preventive maintenance along the way, you wouldn't need to call me nearly as much. So I mentor our startup and commissioning on this. You've seen us program this, and we have successfully made parts. And I have Chris Elston with YRG Inc. to talk to us about what maintenance we need to do on our Scara robot.
The nice thing, Tim, is that Yamaha has made it really nice. It has put a lot of thought process into this, and one of it starts with the basic design of this particular Scara. And the basic design meaning that this is a direct drive Scara. So direct drive means that the servo motor is actually installed directly into this harmonic drive. You know what that means? There's no belts in here. Okay. So if there's no belts, there's no maintenance to do on those belts. So that's the very first thing is the basic design of the Scara is all direct drive. The X-axis, the Y-axis, the R-axis, and the Z is all direct drive. So there's no belt maintenance to do. So the only maintenance that we have to do is the spline that goes up and down gets dry. So every 6 months we have to grease the spline. And then inside the controller, we need to change the batteries every year, basically, is the preventative maintenance schedule for the batteries.
All right, let's have a closer look.
Okay, so here we've removed the cover on the Scara to get access to the full length of the spline. So this is a ball spline that goes up and down, and it also rotates. As you can see, as I said earlier, this is the servo motor. It's a hollow bore servo motor, and the shaft goes through the middle of it, and there's no belt, as I indicated earlier. So what we're going to do is just take some F-gel lubrication and put it on our finger and just kind of rub it on this shaft up and down a couple times there. And we could put a little bit on this particular, this is a ball screw that actually makes the Z-axis go up and down. So this shaft makes the Z-axis go up and down, and the spline makes the R-axis spin on that. And that's the only place that we need to grease the Scara.
Now, Chris, can you talk about pass-through connection you have here? Because I think that makes for a really clean installation.
Yeah, so what's happening here is in the back of the robot, there are user I/O wires, and those are pre-routed to the whip-over cable here because it's very difficult to route wiring through two articulated axis joints. So those are pre-routed up to the top here. And also you can see that there's some airline that's pre-routed for you as well. So this is user I/O, user air. And basically what you can do is attach the airline and stuff and go up and over and into this hollow shaft here. So some people run wires or airline down to the hollow shaft all the way down to the bottom here. And you can kind of get rid of the wiring that you have attached on the outside Scara to make it cleaner. In order to change the batteries on the controller, you could do this with power on if you want. And that way you don't have to reorigin the robot. So this is the screw axis for the battery. So you basically unscrew that. And the bottom part is magnetic in this case. And then we can pull this cover all the way out. But as you can see, we've got some basic absolute batteries and they plug into the axis ports there. So each of the axes have its own individual battery. There's 4 batteries there. And the preventative maintenance, like I said, is every 1 year to replace those batteries. I mean, they can last for 2 to 3 years, but if you're doing a prevented PM schedule, then that schedule is recommended in the manual every 1 year on that.
Now, can I get a warning of that through RCX Studio?
Yeah, you sure can. In the software firmware, when the battery level is low, there's a bit that turns on, and that passes through the PLC and lets you know that there's a low battery warning on there.
All right, we've already set that up with our add-on instructions in Studio 5000. We need to add this as a warning. And so I have learned from Chris this time that we can actually get the motor temperatures, we can get the current, and we get some really cool data logging with their new RTO feature. And I've created this playlist right here with some great tips on that.